guys, this is Animat, and welcome back to the Muppet Vlog. Now this time we're going to be looking into the 10th episode of Season 2 of The Muppet Show, which features the one and only George Burns. Now in the field of comedy, George Burns has been renowned as one of the greatest. Now, back in the old days of entertainment and comedy, during the days of vaudeville, radio, and even television, George Burns has been a great comedian alongside, in fact, actually, he was a dynamic duo along with his wife, Gracie Allen, and they've both been pretty big in all levels of entertainment until the unfortunate event in 1964 when Gracie Allen had passed away. It wasn't until about a little more than a decade later, in 1975, when George Burns' career just made a huge comeback after The Sunshine Boys, where he actually won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, and ever since then, his comedic career has just gone through the roof, and he's pretty much one of the big icons of comedy in general. Where nowadays, when you think of George Burns, you always think about those really thick glasses worn by that old man, and no matter what, he is always smoking a cigar. You always see him there all the time with a cigar every single day of the week, just smoking out a cigar. Now, anyways, with that said, going into the episode that he was featured in, it was actually a really fun and really interesting episode, where it actually does have a bit of a hidden commentary regarding gossip columns. So basically, this episode is all about this little guy going around talking to each Muppet, trying to get a story, trying to get a scandal to fill in his column just to do his job. And basically, like, you could tell how he just doesn't care about the Muppets. He only cares about having his story, and like, you can see a little bit of manipulations here and there, especially like when he wanted to get a story from Miss Piggy and stuff like that. You know, it was really interesting. You know, it does offer some pretty good jokes with it, but you know, it's really fascinating and pretty hilarious how this episode just brings out an entire a commentary regarding gossip columnists, like, just, you know, throwing in dirt on the people of the entertainment, where people who do gossip columns, or anybody who reads gossip columns and stuff like that, like, they have no heart, they have no care, they only care about scandals and just destroying the reputations of people. Like, it is a little bit unfortunate that this is still going on now. I think, like, there is a YouTube version of that. I don't know what it's called, like, drama, like, what was it? Hashtag drama alert or something like that. I don't know. I'm too intelligent to watch that show anyways. But yeah, it's actually pretty interesting to see that, like, the Muppets would actually take a jab into something like that. And especially, like, when they would bring in George Burns and how he would handle something like it. And this is exactly the real highlight of this episode, is George Burns. Considering that we are talking about one of the great comedic legends, his comedic talents are definitely presented in this entire episode. We can definitely feel that George Burns has this master sense of timing, and even like when he would when he would do like a little song with Rolf, like, you could tell that, like, he knows his way to get around a joke, and even, like, you know, to have a good build up to it as well, like, to get the audience rolling, to have some laughs here and there until, like, the great punchline comes in. It's definitely fantastic, and it does give you a bit of an appreciation about George Burns. It's just like, you could tell he seems like a great guy and definitely knows his way around comedy. It's just really fascinating. In terms of the other sketches that do appear, there are some memorable ones as well, but they don't necessarily stand out as much as the moments with George Burns or with that gossip columnist. It does start out with the Cuano Le Gusta, which is another really fun one, and that's actually coincidentally another one of those sketches that I remember back as a kid, like, watching all the time. It's just a really fun song, very reminiscent to like mostly South America or Latin America. Like, it's a really fun and enjoyable song, especially like with their own little twist with like when they bring in the pigs. There is also like a few others that do have like cute punchlines in the end. Like there's Chattanooga Choo Choo, sung by a bunch of like extra Muppets. And then there was also there's this one sketch where like a monster would be eating this machine, and without spoiling it, like it's a simple joke, but you know it has a nice little punchline to it that only the Muppets can deliver. Other ones that, there is actually this one sketch that honestly I find so weird, where this song, like this is pretty much like this old turn of the century song called Watcher Knockem in the Old Kent Road, and like pretty much we see Fozzie just singing it. But one of the weird things is, one of the weird things that happened to it is actually Statler and Waldorf is enjoying it. Like, they engage into it, and they would sing the song along with Fozzie. Now, this has happened before, where, where the Muppets would sing, like, old turn-of-the-century songs, and then, like, you would see Statler and Waldorf singing along with the other Muppets. But this one is rather unusual because this is the first time that we are legit seeing Statler and Waldorf enjoying a Fozzie Bear sketch. Like they didn't even make a little comment at the end. Like, you could legit tell that they are legit enjoying that musical number, and it has Fozzie, like, no critiques, no nothing. And honestly, it kind of feels like we're in a bit of a parallel universe. And it's kind of weird, too, because that's the only time where we see Fozzie in this sketch, and, like, you could tell, like, he is singing the song, and he is trying to be funny at the same time, and then, like, the audience is participating, like, they're having a lot of fun with the song, and Statler and Waldorf is as well. It's, like, it's so weird. It's, like, where the frick did this come from? It's, like, it's either Fozzie was not originally planned to be the star, or I have no idea. It's just really unusual to see Statler and Waldorf really enjoying a Fozzie Bear moment, which, I don't know, I'm surprised Fozzie didn't, like, cherish this moment and just, like, try to blackmail Statler and Waldorf with it. I don't know, it's just like, holy crap. Like, my Muppet brain has kind of exploded. Other than that, I would say that, yeah, I guess there isn't really other moments, really, because... Oh, actually, there is actually one more moment I just realized. There is one really cool and clever musical number where Kermit and Miss Piggy were singing I Won't Dance, and what really makes it interesting is that the entire setting is like an At the Dance sketch. Like, it even starts out with a little music of like, da, na, 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 and then suddenly it morphs, like you can tell it's a little bit different because it's like, you could tell it's At the Dance, but it has a bit of a faster tempo, and it has a higher pitch. But suddenly, like, it morphs into this musical number, which I find that it's actually very clever. And I'm honestly surprised that they haven't done that with any of their other sketches, Like, I know I know later on, in the future, like, they'll do that with Pigs in Space, but they haven't done it with other sketches, including, like, I'm surprised they didn't do it with stuff like Veterinarian's Hospital, or even Muppet Newsflash, or something like Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker, or even like a sketch like suddenly a musical number came out of The Swedish Chef. I know that they have done, I know that it happened with Statler and Waldorf, but, it is actually a very interesting twist in terms of the show itself, where they would take one of their, recurring sketches and suddenly turn it into a musical number. That was actually very interesting. So overall, I would say that there really isn't a lot in terms of quantity, but in terms of quality, it's actually great. The special guest star was fantastic, hands down, and the backstage story that we got is actually very interesting, and it offers, this, really, this really clever comedy in a way that, at this point, I don't know if I want to say clever, because this is about something that everybody knows as a fact that is actually terrible, but in a way, it's actually interesting to see the Muppets doing a commentary in terms of, what's going on in the entertainment industry. So, it's actually pretty cool, and this is one of the episodes that I definitely would recommend. But anyways, that will pretty much be it for this week. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. And it's definitely great to see George Burns in the Muppet Show just doing his best. So let's see what other special guest stars can really do, like, you know, be like George Burns and probably present their talents on the next episode. So tune in next time. And until then, see you later, dudes!